Hello, everyone. Are we all back in the room? Good. Welcome back. We will now kick off our panel discussion. When the short Q&A arrives at the very end, please type your question in the chat box or let me know if you'd like me to unmute you so that you can actually ask it yourself. Let me also introduce to you our other panelists this evening. Fort Worth Opera's incredible chorus master, Alfrelynn Roberts, the mastermind behind this inspiring project, and our brilliant artistic director and resident composer, Joe Illick. For 15 seasons, Joe was Fort Worth Opera's music director and principal conductor. He is still our principal conductor. Until he became artistic director, he also served as executive and artistic director of Performance Santa Fe from 2007 to 2017. He is Fort Worth Opera's incredible resident composer, as I mentioned, having brought to life last year's acclaimed family opera, Frida Kahlo and the Bravest Girl in the World, so wonderful, with librettist Mark Campbell. Next month, we will see his second opera with Mark, Stone Soup, and it will come to life through the magic of cinema and green screens, so get ready. Expect to hear about another exciting opera project by Joe in the future. And let's see, so Alfrelynn Roberts is a ridiculously talented, versatile performer, choral director, and vocal coach whose work includes stage, television, and film. Since she joined our wonderful family here in 2019, she has received rave reviews for all of her choruses throughout our festival. Seriously, they were phenomenal. She has performed everywhere from Michigan Opera Theater to Lyric Opera of Chicago, and she is the vocal and choral coach for 5 high schools in Dallas ISD, also known as She's Pretty Amazing. So, Alfrelynn, hi. Let me unmute you first. That might be helpful. I'm going to unmute all of our panelists. Da, 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 da. Wonderful. Okay, fabulous. Tell us how this incredible passion project came about and what is your connection to the late celebrated composer and arranger Moses Hogan?
Thank you for having me. This has been such a fantastic process. I was a member of the Moses Hogan Singers back in the day, a few years before he passed away, and he brought this piece to us, and the person who actually introduced me to him was a schoolmate of mine from Hampton University, and she was the orator for this particular piece. And I heard it for the first time, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just so fantastic. I never thought that I would, well, let me say this, I never performed it again. And even though it was such a great piece, I just didn't know when I'd have an opportunity to do it again. So, fast forward to today, and everything that was happening while we were all sheltered in place, and all of these images just started coming back to me. And I said, and for whatever reason, this piece just came to mind. And I thought, well, let me I think this is something that Fort Worth Opera could do. But I said, and I sat on it for a little while, and then Joe calls and he's like, hey, we're looking for something to do. And I was like, I have the piece. And so that's kind of how this actually happened. From this piece, it evokes so many images just in the singing of it. But obviously, we're not going back to a place where we're just going to sit and watch anymore. At least not for a little while. And so giving this a new life and new breath through footage that, it already kind of invokes, was just something that just kind of came through this whole process. The singers were fantastic. They did a phenomenal job, in their own homes with earphones by themselves. with only my notes to say, hey, don't do this, do this. So they did a pretty good job considering. So it was actually pretty easy with their singing, along with the text and along with the music. So it just really kind of just organically just kind of came together. So Moses did a wonderful job with this. And I never thought that I would see it this way again. And so I'm just very excited and happy that I was able to bring this kind of life to it.
Me too. I think it was the 90s. It was definitely the 90s, and I had worked in Den. The TCU chorale had actually gone over to Den to work with him for a week.
Oh, got it.
Workshop, and I just never forget it. I mean, it changed me forever. He's
really,
really
he was amazing.
Yeah,
just amazing.
Without giving anything away, can we expect more virtual and maybe some physical performances by the Fort Worth Opera Chorus out in our community in the future?
I'm sure. Oh, we're just, just trying to figure out how everything happened. I mean, obviously, we're all figuring things out. So, so yes, I would love it. And I know that they would love it as well, because, music is about being together. And this is an opportunity for us to, express ourselves as well. So we're looking for opportunities to do this and do this in the community and do what we love so much.
Definitely. Thank you for all you do. You're amazing. Afton, good evening.
Hi. Hello, good evening. I have a question.
Okay. Necklace.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yes, it's from Morocco. I miss traveling, I'm sure, as we all do.
Oh my gosh.
I have a question for Madame Chorus Master. In this world of, sheltering in place, and we have not been able to gather, and as vocalists, as most of us, are, and as you are, being very safe with how we produce music and are able to sing. There have been a lot of virtual choirs that have popped up. So what did you find, how did you find putting this together with the singers in their own individual homes, and them recording it, and then you going into this room of being a master mixer, if you will, a DJ kind of? How did you find that process?
Interestingly enough, I found it very transformative. I was happy that I was able to do it. I had, like you said, I've been transfixed into this whole world of the virtual choir thing. And although those were very different because they were for church choirs, this was so much more and so much bigger. And it's just another way of creating. And I think I've actually found another way to create. So I'm really actually very excited about telling stories like this in the future. I don't think this is, like I said before, we're not going back. So finding ways to tell different kinds of stories in a different way is going to be what I think everybody's going to be forced to do. One of the things that one of my favorite choirs is the Aeolians out of Oakwood University. They did a piece, and this particular piece had it was definitely a virtual choir piece, but they weren't in it at all. They told that story with pictures of other people.
Wow, that's
and I thought to myself, this is ingenious. I don't know why nobody had thought about this. And when we were able to, in fact, I think, is Vinroy still on? He's not. But one of my regional directors from NAM actually brought him to a session that we had over Zoom, and he talked about how his students had been watching virtual choirs for forever, and because they were just, for a while there, they were just everywhere, and they didn't want to see themselves on camera, on screen. They wanted to see something else. And so I thought, that is just so ingenious, telling a story, using music to tell a human story. And that's what they did with this particular video. So I think this is an opportunity for us to show music to the the world in a very different way. Maybe, you know, classical music to non-classical people, so that they can take it in a different light as well. So I think this is our opportunity to educate and also make music. So I'm very excited about where we're going with this new virtual world. I mean, obviously, it never takes away from being in person. Don't get me wrong, but this gives us an opportunity to educate in a different way.
Absolutely. I love that you said that, and I agree with everything that you've said. What is amazing, if we look at it in hindsight and, you know, step back from the immediate discomfort and, you know, feelings of COVID, what has happened in this time is transformative. We as an industry have figured out that barrier that has created, or that wall that has created a barrier to access for so many for so long, which is, I either don't feel comfortable coming to a theater, I've maybe not been invited, I don't have maybe transportation, I have kids, you know, all of those things. In this virtual space, we have eliminated all of that. Correct. We can come together like this and sign on and see as much as we want to, as little as we want to. And that wall, that barrier to access has been removed, eliminated. So here we are, face to face with any and everyone who we choose to be. And they have the opportunity to engage with us on a high level, a medium level, a low level, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 4 hours, if you're sitting on a Gin Rally masterclass, you know, whatever, right. Whatever it is. And it is beautiful. And it is 1,000% the only way to move forward. Yeah, we have to, as an industry, find the balance between this platform and how we can grow these types of platforms to create engagement opportunities for community, for, you know, folks who might always be stuck at home, or who, you know, need something to do, as well as provide the engagement for those individuals who we want, and, you know, who come down to the theater or come to live performance spaces. Right. So it took a while for all of us to figure out the path in this time of COVID. And we have, Fort Worth Opera definitely has created this path forward. And it is a path that I will work tirelessly to maintain and to grow, because it is a way to easily and accessibly get into the homes and the lives and the hearts and the community that we need to engage with. So I love hearing you say that. I love it. So I'm sorry to have taken over.
Oh no,
no. It's cool. You know what it really feels like is that there's a metaphor here, because what you did is so extraordinary on many levels. It's extraordinary on a technical level too, because each of these wonderful artists was in their own home. They were all separated from the others. And we always think that when that separation exists, there's no way to come together in harmony. Right. And one of the most important things that I felt during His Light Still Shines, and that I often feel, is that those walls and those barriers are invisible, but it's very hard to bring them down. And yet in this performance, everybody was in unity, creating this beautiful, harmonious music together that was so inspiring. So it really stood for what we know we can do. We can do it. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Sorry, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I appreciate it. I had to close my door.
Real life.
Truly.
Afton.
Yes.
As our new general director, what is your vision for the future for this company as we get ready to enter 75 years, which kind of blows my mind. 75 years of blood, sweat, tears, passion, up and down, all sorts of stuff, but it's the past. And what is your vision for Fort Worth Opera as we move forward?
Absolutely. It is exactly what I, in part, just said, remaining a part of and growing our presence in the community of Fort Worth, of Tarrant County, of North Texas, of Texas, period. Growing those relationships with community residents so that we are really anchoring our company as pillars in the community, that we are offering access, that we are offering quality music education, music programming, that we are offering quality engagement opportunities on every level, and really growing those relationships so that we truly become a full representation of the community that we serve, inside and out, on stage and off stage. I want us to continue to offer main stage productions of high quality that are highlighting and showcasing rising American singers, with new works, that we are a place where composers, librettists who are in this 21st century feel that they have a space to come and create their art, to come and create their works, and a place where we can incubate them and let them breathe and give them a platform to be heard. I love and would love to see Fort Worth Opera re-elevated, I suppose, if you will, to the status that I remember as a young singer coming up, where I wanted to sing at the McCammon Voice Competition. I wanted to audition for the Resident Artist Program, that we are in that top 5, if you will, of every young singer and emergent singer and, you know, seasoned singer, if you will, on their list, and that we are pushing forward the dynamic, and that we are pushing forward the envelope in this industry, that we are forward thinking, that we are thought leaders, that our colleagues and sister companies and brother companies, what have you, look to us and say, well, what is Fort Worth Opera doing next? That is what I want and what I see for our company. And we have the extreme talent to do it. We have a wonderful staff who is agile and scrappy and ready to get in the community and get in the work and get it done. We have a fantastic board. We have Joe, who is a genius, a brilliance. And so we're ready for this. Our moment is now. We are ready to rise to the occasion. And I'm ready to work with the staff and the board to lead us to that place.
Let's go.
You're so inspiring. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm so happy you're all here. We have the best team. I love everybody that I work with here. Everybody brings such a unique, amazing, je ne sais quoi, whatever you want to call it, to the table. They just do it. And I can't wait. It's like we're stepping into this like house, I don't know why this word's coming to my head, halcyon era. Like we're in the golden era. We're doing it. It's so cool.
And it's crazy because we're doing it during a pandemic.
Right.
You know, but the thing is, it's kind of forced us out of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's forced
That
us
is so
to
true.
really step into the 21st century. I mean, like, I never would have imagined any of these things happening right now. But you know what? They're here to stay. And not only, especially like this, His Light Still Shines, everything that we've been doing since the Green Room opened, it has really connected us with people from, like, I don't know, Bombay and Tokyo and Japan. Now they know about Fort Worth Opera, and isn't that exciting? You know what I mean? They know about it here now too, but now we've expanded our reach, and that's, I don't know, it's very exciting. Possibility.
It is. I had like 60 people on Facebook say, I just want to be your friend because I saw this Fort Worth Opera thing and I live in, Botswana. And it's like, great, here we are. Come on.
I love it.
It's fantastic, and it's thrilling, and it's exhilarating, and it's contagious. And for our international, new friends that we've acquired, you know, keeping that momentum going for our local friends that we hope to, you know, acquire. And that stems from doing pieces like His Light Still Shines to, you know, providing programming in the green room and that accessibility, but also getting out into the community with community performances in a outdoor safe space in which we can bring music to literally your front door in a way that not many other companies are doing, and in a way that we are doing that is genuine and authentic to Fort Worth Opera, genuine and authentic to our community and to those that we serve. And so it is this, you know, this kind of Thomas the Tank, you know, engine that's just really going and going down, and it's very exciting. And I believe that this momentum is just going to keep going, and we have so much potential and so much opportunity, and also so much desire and thirst within the community. We are all looking for opportunities to engage and opportunities to enjoy and opportunities to feel. That is the wonderful thing about music, is that it heals things that are broken. It creates joy, it's celebratory, but also it brings together. It doesn't matter, it just brings you together. And that's what people are thirsting for.
Craving right now. People are craving it, aren't they?
Absolutely.
The time when if there was ever a need for that healing power of music and performance, it's now. And we really do have, as you and I have been talking about very, very recently, safe ways to bring not only online, but live performance to people. Pretty exciting.
It is incredibly exciting. And, you know, something that how we stand out in the industry and in the field is being in Texas, in North Texas. We have temperate climate, weather most time, you know, most months of the year. So unlike our friends and colleagues in the North, who are, you know, getting ready to deal with some winter-like climate, we have the opportunity to have more time in front of a community in an outdoor location and outdoor space. So we are truly, truly blessed with that. And that is what makes this all so, so incredibly exciting, and artistically and, you know, vision-wise, just the sky's the limit. The sky is truly, truly, truly the limit.
Do you all think that this has permanently changed the game for good? Like,
yes.
really?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Some things that we learn from COVID will be with us for a long time and positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
You know, when you have a computer that doesn't work, they always say unplug it and plug it back in. We've sort of done that with everything in life, you know.
That's true.
Control, Alt, Delete. Right. Absolutely. And there are some, you know, there's some companies who have done a really wonderful job and figured it out, how to move forward. And there are some companies that are still trying to figure it out. And while we all are definitely saddened at the news of, you know, the Met staying closed, you know, closing for the remainder of their season, in that sadness, to me, is more than a sliver of hope. It is more than a sliver of encouragement, because we at Fort Worth Opera have figured it out. I'm not saying the Met hasn't figured it out, and they are a whole different operating beast, but we have figured it out. We are in this place where we have amazing online content, and we have the opportunity and the talent in our own resident artists, in our studio artists, in our community at large, that we have figured it out to be able to continue to bring the art form to the community in a way that it has and really will change the game for us and for the industry. And it's exciting to think about the future and what that holds for us.
Yeah. Opera, ballet, theater companies, you know, symphonies across the US have been posting online statements on their websites and on social media about racial injustice and representation within the arts. Fort Worth Opera has as well, and His Light Still Shines is definitely a step forward, but what will Fort Worth Opera as a company do to address issues such as systemic racism and inequity head on going forward?
It's very easy for me. It is truly weaving in to our DNA as a company, the eradicating of these stains, if you will, and truly finding how we move forward as a company in support of and with the support of our community. It is having representation on stage, off stage. And what I mean when I say off stage is, yes, I mean, we have an incredibly diverse staff, but yes, in offices, but yes, also to off stage in terms of directors, conductors, scenic designers, you know, everyone who makes up a theater working, in addition to our audience. It is incredibly, incredibly important to grow our audience and incredibly important to diversify our audience. And the way to do that is to have true representation, to give a voice to those who have not had a platform to have their voices heard, to showcase pieces by African-American composers, continue to showcase pieces by Latinx composers, showcase pieces by Asian American composers, to give those voices a platform to be heard, because that transforms into representation. Growing up in Amarillo, Mila and Mary Jane, amazing role models, legendary, but I never saw anyone who looked like me. And that didn't stop me from pursuing my goal and pursuing my dream. But I think about the young, you know, Black boys and Black girls and brown boys and brown girls who look on stage and don't see anyone who looks like them. Well, we are in a position to change that. And we are in a position to change that in an authentic and genuine way. And we have the platform to give those voices more than a reason to be heard, but to give them the leverage to be heard in a way in which we are creating beautiful, high quality, gorgeous art and music making.
Thank you very much. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. This is for all of you, honestly. It could be for any or all. Opera, you know, as an art form is often associated with this label of elitism, that it's expensive to attend, which we make it inexpensive to attend as well, and something only to be enjoyed by those that are like in the know. While Fort Worth Opera has addressed this and is, you know, taking steps to remedy that, what is the company going to do? What would you like the company to do to face those stereotypes head on, so that everyone here in North Texas feels welcome when they hear our name spoken, and then come to our performances?
You know, in a terrible way, COVID has done us a favor, because we're going to reappear with performances that are not in big, beautiful halls for a while. We will have live performances, but they without saying things that I can't promise we're going to deliver. But I know that we're going to be having many outdoor performances in many venues of varying sizes. And I think this will do a lot to break down those stereotypes and those old ideas. And of course, those performances will also be very inexpensive. Some of them will be free. And perhaps after, you know, people say the new normal. I don't think there'll be a new normal. There's nothing normal about what's going on. But when there is the ability to return to theaters, indoor theaters, many people will have come to associate our name with exciting performances that were really engaging to them. And I think they'll happily go into theaters where they might not have felt comfortable or interested in going before.
It really is. Since I've been here, honestly, we have been expecting people to come to us, and I think that is kind of problematic. So and it hasn't really yielded the results. So I think it's very exciting to me to be a part of a company that is actually going out into neighborhoods, going out into the community, talking to people. And, you know, showing up where people would be like, what, really? What's happening right now? I love that. I love the unexpected surprise about it all, but also to share that beauty, that passion that we have, and with everybody else here who wouldn't normally, you know, they're like, they think Bass Hall is beautiful, but maybe they're like, well, this isn't for me, or it, depending on whatever the venue is, you know, maybe they grew up with an idea that opera is one thing. And we're going to give them a completely different facet of what opera really is, and that's exciting. So thank you all.
Core of the opera is great singing and passion. And you know, there are so many ways in which all of us, whether or not we're singers, and I'm not a singer, sing in our lives at the moments of greatest passion. We do it at sports events, we do it in our churches, we do it every time we come together, practically, when it's important to us, to our hearts. So when people see opera stripped to its bare essentials, they'll see that and connect with it more than before.
That's a really great point. And I think our librettist workshop, October 7th and 8th, shameless plug, is a great example of that, because it is just focusing on telling the story with the libretto. There's no music, there is no sung anything. It is what the story is by the written words. And how we also, you know, break down the idea of elitism, if you will, is by offering a wide variety of programming, which, you know, Fort Worth Opera is known for and will continue to do, where you have, yes, the titles that we know and love, that we love to fall in love with every time we go to the theater, but also new titles that are exciting and engaging, that tell stories that are relevant, that tell stories that are current, and also some fun things that, you know, might be some musical theater, or, you know, some, what have you, some Sprechstimme perhaps. But all of those things is what breaks down the silos that people inevitably and kind of subconsciously think opera is. They think it is hoity-toity, you know, Mozart, you know, 16th, 17th century big dresses and powdered white wigs. But it's so much more than that. And that's what Fort Worth Opera has 1,000% in their pocket and does masterfully, and will continue to do, to break down those barriers and those silos that people associate opera with.
Thank you. Why don't we open this up to
questions?
Everybody else, does anybody have any questions for me? Please type them in, or I can, at this point, I could unmute everybody. Why don't I do that? All participants are unmuted.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Oh. Does anybody have a question for us? It doesn't have to be profound or anything. It could just be, you know, like what's your favorite vegetable? I don't know.
Where'd you get that lapel pin, Ryan? It's great.
I got it in Mystic, Connecticut. Mystic, Connecticut. Yep. Which somebody on the board used to own a toy shop in Mystic, Connecticut. Who was that? Oh no, I can't. Somebody anyway. Thanks for playing. All right. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for us? No.
Okay. We have talked them down.
I hope everybody has enjoyed this evening, and I thank you all so much for being here with us. Thank you for watching Alfrelynn's glorious His Light Still Shine come to life. And thank you all for supporting Fort Worth Opera very, very much.
Yes, I echo that. Thank you, Ryan, for your time and for guiding us through this wonderful discussion. Thank you, Alfrelynn, for your creative genius and your beautiful music making. And thank you for sharing this gift of this piece with us. I look forward to more of the same. Thank you, Nelson, for your incredibly warm welcome and introduction. And thank you, Joe, for joining us. And thank you, all of you, for joining us this evening. It's been a great pleasure to spend this hour with you. Thank you for your support of Fort Worth Opera. And we would not be able to do any of this without the support of donors and patrons and lovers of the opera as yourself. So thank you so much. If you love what you heard and you love what you see, please visit us at fortworthopera.org and feel free to make a contribution to continue to support the great work that we do so that we can bring more opportunities like this, not only to you, but our community. Thank you so much for joining us. I wish you all a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.